Shalom. This week's Sedra Eikev. Literary symmetry isn't only found in Shakespeare. God used the writing style in the Torah well before man would copy it in his own writings. People are attracted to symmetry, for it is a form of beauty. Symmetry, again, isn't only found in attractive people. It is found in writing and design as well. God used symmetry in the opening of this week's Torah portion to attract Jews to the mitzvot. The parsha opens, if you listen to these rules and observe them and perform them carefully, your God will maintain the covenant that he made with your fathers. He will love you, bless you, multiply you. He will bless the issue of your womb and the produce of your soil, your new grain and wine and oil, the calving of your herd, and the lambing of your flock, in the land that he swore to your fathers to assign to you. You shall be blessed above all other peoples. There shall be no sterile male or female, among you or among your livestock. God will ward off all sickness. He will not bring upon you any of the dreadful diseases of Egypt, about which you know, but will inflict them upon your enemies. You shall destroy all the peoples that your God delivers to you, showing them no pity. The first three conditions listed by God, listening to him, observing his commands, and performing the mitzvah carefully, correspond to the rewards that God promises as part of his covenant and kindness. For listening to God, we will be loved. For observing the mitzvah, we will be blessed. And for performing the mitzvah properly, we will multiply. Our scholars explained each one. In his commentary to the phrase, if you listen, Rashi, our early commentary, explained that it refers to the mitzvot that other people scoff at, like the command to be happy at festivals. The Sforno understood that observing commands means to study them, and to perform them carefully means to do them correctly. Ibn Ezra described the covenant as an understanding that God had with the forefathers. As the Chizkuni expounded, this covenant and kindness that God promised was for a fitting generation. It was reserved for a generation that observed the Torah. Generations that don't observe the Torah are not fit for God's covenant and kindness. A son listens to his father even when the father asks him to do something that he doesn't fully understand, and even when others scoff at his father's commands. That's why the Sforno explained that in return for listening to him, God promises that he'll love the Jewish people just as a father loves his sons. For the Jews are called the children of God. Studying weakens a person, and when they follow our rabbi's instructions in Pirkie Avot to make work secondary to their study, they become poorer for their efforts. That's why the Sforno explained that God promises to bless them, meaning to give the Jewish people wealth to live. This, the Sforno wrote, is part of the divine kindness. Performing mitzvah perfectly can lead to an assimilation, or even, God forbid, an execution of mass amount of people. The Ramban points to the case of a city who all perform idolatry and must all be executed. Therefore, God promises that if you observe the mitzvah properly, he will ensure that you multiply in number. Our sages in Pirkie Avot told us to weigh the reward of observing a mitzvah against the loss entailed in performing it, and to weigh the loss of avoiding sin against the benefit of sinning. The Torah recognizes that there is a loss to the Jews when they observe the Torah. God promises to make us whole when we listen to him, when we study the Torah, and when we perform the mitzvah properly. Shabbat Shalom to all.